You know what the answer is? GTA.
It's crazy. The way GTA 5 and GTA 5 roleplay has come is insane. Because they'll stream radio. You know how you're driving down.
Is it just a matter of time before they actually are just like walking in through the studio door? Or
That's one of the theories, is that they're just saying that they're getting us used to seeing them, so that when they actually introduce themselves, they're like, oh, these are gods. Worship them.
Hello, Truth Disorderians. I'm David. It's Ernest.
I'm Ernest.
And Gary.
Gary, Truth Disorderians.
Gary. We got David Rare Form Rope today.
David came in freaking hot.
Yeah.
David must have just had a closing.
Or two. This is two closing energy.
This is two closing
it's
energy.
two closing David.
Yeah. And you just came from vacation, so you're...
Where'd you go, to Bahamas?
No.
No, I went to Augusta, Georgia for a wedding.
Oh, that's
it wasn't
right.
even a vacation.
I miss me some Augusta, Georgia.
Some Augusta.
Yeah.
It was very, how do I say this politically correct?
It's Texas Junior.
Is it?
Yeah.
I went across the bridge and was like, wow, this is very nice over here. And then I went back towards my hotel and it was not very nice.
Yeah, it's
It
different.
was troublesome, I think.
Yeah, you got to know
Yeah.
where to go.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, the bridge towards Columbia.
You walked into a... yeah, let's stay away from that.
Yeah.
I gotta think about that first.
So right before you get to the bridge, there's a Top Golf there. It is the worst constructed driving range in the history of all driving ranges, because it's facing the sun the entire day, and you're catching just all sun the whole entire day.
Like
It's awful.
you're driving into the sun.
Driving into the sun.
Oh, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Augusta's nice, though.
Augusta's
kind of,
cool.
In some little areas.
Yeah.
I mean,
Downtown was not
That's where
very
the
nice.
PGA goes quite a bit. I mean,
That's the Masters.
The Masters,
Do that, yeah.
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 Interesting.
You said quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played
Just like-
Top Golf there.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah. Into the sun.
He's like, I never made it to the actual course, but Top Golf suffices.
Well, did you know that you can't play?
Augusta National, unless
Augusta
you're a
National?
member.
Well, yeah, it's not a public course
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you win the Masters.
unless you're
Unless-
Elon.
Even if you win the Masters, you cannot just go. You have to go with a member.
Has Trump played?
I don't know.
The big course.
I don't know. Let's ask let's ask the internet.
Has Trump played the?
Have any presidents?
No, so you get. I'm pretty sure when you win the Masters, you get a tee time the day before the following.
Oh, you can
Masters,
play before
right,
the
with guests.
Masters.
Yeah,
You can play
and
before.
then you have a permanent locker in the
You have
champions
permanent
locker
locker,
room.
but you can't just go
You
and play.
can't. How are you gonna win the Masters and not be able to go play? There's no
That's
way.
right on par for the Masters.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
That would be.
That's how exclusive it is. It's crazy.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, yeah. Seriously, look it up.
What is that?
Is Trump a member? Is Bill Gates a member? Who has a membership? These are all very...
Masters champions are honorary members of Augusta National and can play the course anytime it's open for regular
I've been
play.
lied to then.
They must be hosted by a member of the club to play. And while they can bring guests, they must use an Augusta caddy.
So how-
so
how-
it's
wait,
not... so- right, that's what I'm saying.
They can
It's a
They can't play on their own.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh, you can come play, but you got to play with a member.
Like I could play if I know a member.
So if
right?
if a member, like you can play with anybody can play with a member.
Right.
So that's the point. That's what I'm saying.
But what's that membership look like?
I wasn't lied to.
I guess not.
And can you become a member just to become a member? Like, can I go?
Dude, surely the initiation is going to
Apparently-
be crazy.
Apparently, if you ask to become a member, they'll blacklist you.
They blacklist
Yeah,
you.
straight up.
The most exclusive club.
Mind blowing.
Can I be a
bro.
member? Now
you
no.
can't.
Now you can't.
We should just walk up there and be like, "Can we be members? We heard we're gonna get
Just so we can be
blacklisted."
blacklisted.
I don't want to risk that. I want to be able to have the opportunity if it ever were to come up. That's like
Just
one of
the
my bucket lists.
0.001% chance that you become a member. You're
For
like,
sure.
yeah, okay,
For sure.
fair enough.
I'm realizing the reality of this, but you never know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Never know. Like what's perfect.
I could see Gary just dead sprinting, just dead sprinting to that first tee box
Well,
And then-
with
speaking-
security and cops just
and
like.
then slicing it. Breakfast bowl?
Have you ever seen what would be hysterical is if you got to the first tee and you used one of those shocked balls, I think they're called. I don't know if you've seen them or not, but
That's a good way to
they're-
get kicked out.
They're basically plugged. It's not an explosive, but it sounds like a freaking.
Oh, they sound like they explode.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
sound. Yeah.
I need suggestions from you guys, and feel free, guys, for y'all in the chat if you're watching this. I need ideas for a really cool gender reveal.
That's the most Texan word ever. Y'all.
Y'all, can we stay on task here?
Gender reveal.
Yes.
Whatever you do, don't involve a ball. 'Cause
I got a great
I've
idea.
seen a bunch of compilation videos of gender reveals with balls, and they don't go very well.
Or planes.
What?
Or
Planes.
or
Planes?
planes.
No balls or planes.
No balls or planes.
I saw the one
So
video.
everything in between.
It's gonna be a chapter title in my life book.
I saw the one video where the guy was like, they were standing next to each other and they had the confetti cannon and he accidentally like dropped it a little bit and a little puff of blue smoke comes out.
Oh no.
And she's like, "You ruined my life."
I don't think your lady wouldn't do that.
I got an idea.
I mean, if I accidentally just like showed blue spot, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, hell yeah, we got a boy. That's fine. I'm fucking.
Damn,
that's
boy,
the
that's
important part
right.
right here. We got the boy.
I thought I saw them.
Yeah. So my wife is actually a little bit bigger than she was with the first two, like at this stage.
She
of
carrying
pregnancy.
high or low?
I don't know.
Not yet. You know.
I still haven't figured that out. There's some things that I just don't pay attention to in life because I feel like that's just my wife's job too.
Yeah.
So, like I'm worried about.
He's like, "Yeah, I don't really pay attention to the cleaning or the cooking or."
I have like 3 jobs that I pay the bills so that I don't have to do dishes and diapers.
David, that's
So-
kind of sexist.
He said this to me yesterday,
Yeah,
quite
I mean,
literally
like,
on the phone.
Sorry,
It's
guys. Like you guys can be progressive and share the load while you're working, but you're gonna die of a heart condition before you're 50, and so that's not what I'm trying to do.
You could use tannerite.
What is that?
Tannerite?
Tannerite?
Yeah, tannerite.
What is that?
Tannerite.
It's an explosive powder.
Are we back to the?
The gender
The
reveal.
gender
Okay,
reveal.
okay.
Yeah. So
Tannerite.
He's over here talking about his
Bro, they
wife.
sell it at
It's like
Academy.
those
Oh, you
sunscreen,
need some
like-
tannerite, dude.
What is
Like,
that
yeah,
for, like
just-
skin
it's
tanning
explosive.
lotion?
They
Put,
sell
put it in her coconut oil.
Is
You
it petroleum based?
No, it's a powder.
So what do I? It's
They
like,
sell it at Academy, like in like actual like little jars, and you can just fill it with a dye. Have somebody fill it with a dye, put it out at like 100 yards or something like that, and shoot it.
Speaking of ADD, Stephon Diggs got caught with a pink substance while he was getting a
Holy
lap dance from
transfer.
Cardi B, and now the Patriots are considering releasing him because he was on a yacht getting a lap dance from Cardi B with a pink substance. If I was him, I would have just said that I was doing a gender reveal.
There you see. That's
You know what I'm saying?
look at this gender reveal boombox. Right there, you just shoot the box.
You just shoot
This-
the.
Isn't that cool? Have you seen videos of people doing that? Yeah, you just. Look at-
like literally just shoot the
this
box.
person is spread out. Hold on, but like, yeah,
Oh crap!
yeah. You've seen that before, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That is sick.
Yeah.
You have the space to do that.
I can't.
But could you though?
I'm not allowed to shoot guns on my property.
You're too close
sure
to
about
a
that?
neighborhood.
Yeah, for
Is
sure.
it center fire or is it?
I can only shoot like bows and arrows and crossbows.
Let's shoot a bow. You can do
Would
the
that
same thing.
make-
May,
that
I don't know
work?
if that works, but it will explode. It will.
You got any grenades?
That'd be sick.
If you're the ATF, this is not for you. You don't. You're not supposed to be listening to this part.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah, look, it's a little bag, and it just explodes. And there's the boy color. Yeah.
We're not going to get banned on TikTok for saying we're having a gender reveal, are we? I'm not really hip to the new rules.
As long as you say it's a they and them. Or he.
All right, moving on.
As long as you're not Lily Tino.
A little Latino.
little-
You can't
No,
say that.
Lily Tino.
Little Latino.
No.
Okay,
Of course it's going to be a
now
little
we are
Latino,
really
dude.
bad.
Like, what do you
'cause-
mean it can't be a little Latino?
Because the
That's
captions.
not what I said.
The captions are totally putting Latino on the screen. For that.
Lily, also known as Lily Contino. He probably should have led with that, but that's fine.
So wait, are we getting? Is David taking over Charles' big word of the day?
I know who that is.
It's actually very. It's very. It's very not viral right now. They went to a
Don't do it.
Disney park,
Don't do it.
and it was like,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
It was very interesting. A lot of people are fighting back against it because it was just kind of. They've been banned before from Disney.
Really?
For talking about like this is my Disney waffle, and then holding up a corn dog. This is my, and they're like, I like this now, and this is how I am.
No way.
Yeah. And so they went back to Disney.
Okay, I was lost for a second. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, I got you.
They went back to Disney and put some ketchup on a corn dog, and they were like, this is how I had my operation.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, and so is Disney not okay with that?
Of course not. No. Yeah.
Oh, I mean that's good. That's making strides
dude.
forward. Like Disney's Kids has like the big Pride celebration on the Disney Kids profiles now. That's a thing.
To each their own. If you want to celebrate it, man, it good by all means. It is what it is.
You know what month it is though? It's Dad's month.
Dudes supporting dudes as well.
Dudes supporting dudes.
Dads supporting dads.
Bros supporting bros.
Yep. I did my
gonna
first
film a
challenge.
video. I'll film a video later.
Yeah, thanks
I'm
for challenging me to that. That was my first challenge I ever did on TikTok. Happy to do it. Support those dads out there. Got some,
them.
Yeah, you know, nobody asked to connect, but it's all good. Maybe next time, guys.
You had a lot of connections.
Yeah, you know. Whatever.
Last time I did a challenge, it was for the ALS ice bucket, and my friend has ALS now, so I never did the ice bucket challenge, so I feel bad.
Holy
jinxed it,
crap.
Yeah. Kind of blew that one, right?
Dom had the perfect reaction. If you guys could have seen Dom.
I got him.
This is your friend, bro. You got Dom and his brothers fucking losing their minds. That's crazy. He doesn't want to, guys. I want y'all to know that David doesn't want to get on TikTok lives because he thinks they're toxic.
They are toxic.
Crazy.
People are toxic.
Oh my god.
I mean, they are toxic.
Goodness gracious. Maybe if everybody he knew was joining the TikTok live, he would join. Because apparently that's the only people he's toxic towards are the people that he loves.
David streams.
Shit, man.
I watched one of David's. I watched a stream, by the way.
Dude, do you see a David stream yet?
I saw a David stream.
No way.
I watched it.
Interesting.
You're capping.
No, I saw it.
You saw it.
Lay it on me. Well, how'd it go?
I don't know, man. He was talking to some person in virtual world. He was sitting on a.
Was that?
He was telling a story or something. He was sitting like on a staircase.
You watched a clip.
He did some singing and stuff too.
No,
right?
it was about like.
Yeah,
like
somebody
45 minutes long.
highlighted it and made it like a full length. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. It was like a GTA 5 roleplay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I used to do that a little bit.
How do you GTA 5 roleplay?
I used to sing in GTA 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They
My
had-
character was like a lawyer, and
How have you not seen this? Did you not find it?
No.
we don't talk about
I
this.
guess it's because I worked in big tech for so long. You know, I could find these things.
Take a shot.
Yeah. Take a shot. Cool down the path.
We should edit some of this out.
No, I think this is good.
This is good stuff.
David's
Yeah,
starting to blush. Here,
we're
look, let's throw
learning
his.
about each other.
Let's throw his.
So can you explain this to me like I've never seen it? Like, do you just have?
You know what's actually crazy?
He went through a club, dude. He was like, it was like a club.
Were
that
you on a
walking
server?
through.
Yeah, it was.
So you're on a server.
It was through 5M.
Okay, and so
Yeah.
you had your guitar, like
Wasn't
character.
me for real. My character. Was
Right,
playing
your
guitar.
character had the guitar, and then you were singing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Like
good.
kind of like we're
actually-
talking, except
yeah.
there'd be an avatar
yeah,
actually
yeah.
playing.
You're like
it.
avataring.
There's a good friend of mine who
was
still
legit.
does it, and he does full blown concerts in GTA 5 roleplay.
Whoa.
There's a very popular GTA 5 roleplay server called No Pixel, and he's on it. He plays, and there's actually lore that he's followed from GTA 5. Like there's a rock band in GTA 5, and he plays the retired lead singer of that rock band.
That's cool.
So he took some of the lore from GTA 5, and his studio set up when he's streaming is an actual like electronic drum set, and he's got his loop pedals, so he'll get on the guitar and actually. But whenever he plays, it goes through his voice box in the game. So he'll throw concerts for people.
It's like live
in the
audio.
game. Yeah. And they've even got it.
Wow.
It's crazy the way GTA 5 and GTA 5 roleplay has come is insane. Because they'll stream radio. You know how you're driving down whatever boulevard in GTA 5? they'll stream the music that's actually in the game. They've somehow integrated
Into the radio?
into the radio.
Oh, dude, that's
so
crazy.
he's able to actually radio broadcast out to people who are just going to like do their own missions and stuff like that.
So GTA 5 is literally doing something that Decentraland
You mean 6?
needed to do. 6.
Right. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it's 5.
Is it 5 or 6?
Yeah,
I
6
thought
is coming out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay,
he's
5.
doing so Decentraland. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it was super neat technology blockchain situation where you can buy blockchain real estate, and it just flopped. Like it was going great. It was going great. Facebook announced Meta, went crazy for a little while, and then it just stopped. Like even Nike was buying stores, like real estate in there, but it was just that UI where you just go in there and you're like, well, what do I do now?
It's like Super Mario, basically.
Yeah, you just
The freaking
way- it was, like,
animation was terrible.
shittier than Roblox.
Yeah.
Yeah, just awful. So like if they did something like that in GTA and took that to Decentraland, I bet would.
Well, it's going to be really crazy because I know we were talking about this a few episodes ago, but GTA 6 has acquired 5M, so they're going to have that. So before it was just modders supporting modders,
Modders and servers and right.
and I think Rockstar maybe saw how much money was being spent on servers, and because people that are successful in running businesses through Twitch and YouTube and playing these characters, they're paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month to be part of these servers who are developing these like different heists and alternating the source code to be able to code these things. And now GTA 6 is a part of that. So now that they have that support,
No wonder they pushed it back. No wonder they
it's
pushed
going
it
to be
back.
crazy. Yeah. And that's why when we were talking about like the Bitcoin thing, I know a commenter had said something about like, yeah, but why would you spend real money? But at the same time, it's like people are buying shark cards.
Yeah, because time is money.
Yeah.
That's why I'd rather buy.
Imagine
shark
doing
card.
a heist and getting 0.0001% of a Bitcoin.
Yeah, I would
Imagine
that
I would do
actually ended up
so many freaking heists.
coding
I
something.
mean,
Yeah.
imagine doing an actual legal heist. like you don't actually have to go get in trouble. Like,
Yeah,
like-
that'd be crazy though, right? Because what if on the back end, now this could be a crazy theory, but what if on the back end, as you're completing this heist, it has actually done something that like a GPU is doing, and it's figuring out an algorithm,
Cracked an algorithm.
and so now it's done that, so it could actually pay you out.
Yeah.
You know what would be really wild if it went
Wouldn't that be nuts?
if it got so realistic to the point where like you're actually storing your money in a virtual bank account.
Right. Yeah.
And they have dudes performing heists where they're actually robbing banks.
Robbing your bank.
like they're
Oh,
taking
shit.
and you're literally sitting there watching your money, your
No,
wallet
no.
go down, and you're like, no.
You're at work.
Like-
You're at work serving Chipotle, and you're like, "Oh shit, I'm getting fucking robbed right now."
Well, that-
I mean, it's gonna
Fucking
get
throw
to
your
that.
steak at somebody, and you run out, like get to the house.
I
That'd be
actually, so I
insane.
know that to make it seamless, and which is kind of crazy because people get into these characters so much that it's like they can't disassociate. So a lot of like the bigger streamers, you see them get mad, and they're like, "Oh, it's all an RP, bro. It's all an RP." But you can tell that they're really upset.
Yep.
They've connected it so well in some of these role-playing servers that it'll connect to your phone, and so if somebody's texting you in game, it's going to your phone.
Yeah.
And you're talking as your character, typing back to them, but it's coming from you in game. So that way you're able to receive, and it's called meta, right? You don't want to get meta information. And so you're able to talk back to them in real time as it's happening. So if you're actually out like at HEB or something, and something's happening in your gang or your group or something like that, and they want to get information from you, and you're texting, you're like, "Oh, yeah, this is what's happening right now."
You know the one scary.
Dude, you're gonna miss the funeral.
Yeah.
And
Did you
so
see
they-
that one?
That's
Did you see
the
that? Dude,
scary
it's so
part
good.
about all that stuff, though, is
Yeah.
like you're gonna disconnect so many people from like society
Oh,
and
they're-
reality
They're already so far gone, anyways.
that it. Just, I mean, it's why. I mean, well, you're gonna get people that are like, "Heck yeah, man! I could go perform heists. Like that's gonna be cool. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we could go do some Fast and Furious type stuff in meta." Like, you know, Grand Theft Auto, you know,
Right.
rob people and steal their money and be legal, like,
And earn Bitcoin.
and earn Bitcoin.
That would be so cool if that actually was a thing.
But I mean, at what point does the government actually have to step in? Like, if it's real money, what
Dude,
if? I mean, if they're
imagine.
stealing real money and heisting like real cryptocurrency, like
Imagine
in a
the
game,
U.S. government in
Well,
GTA.
I would think that there'd be.
you'd have I am Donald Trump. I don't do good
Wait,
impressions.
in-game,
but-
In-game,
the
yeah.
real cops are like, "Shit, man, we gotta get.
Yeah.
We gotta make our own characters."
the radical
Shit.
the radicalists could live out their fantasies of doing bad things to the president. Have y'all seen those videos? It's crazy. Dude, I've seen some
I saw
reaction-
the one that what's her face made. Not Ellen DeGeneres.
There's people calling for the assassination of the president on TikTok, and their accounts are still
active.
You know what the answer is? GTA.
Let's go.
Oh, you want to do this? All right, here, go ahead and play GTA.
What if it was so real
get it
life
out of
though
your
that
system,
like
so
once you were just like gone, you can't get into the game anymore.
No, now
like,
we're talking. Now we're talking Matrix.
like Matrix style.
Yeah, you like plug in your Neuralink to GTA, and
So you guys have very clearly not watched the last episode of Black Mirror.
I did
That,
watch it.
That
I still
gaming
haven't
thing
started.
kind of happened.
Yeah,
right?
that's
It's
exactly
like,
what happens. And that's like part
Have you guys
two.
watched Black Mirror?
I haven't finished it.
Oh.
Dude. So what you shouldn't watch is Bad Thoughts.
Black Mirror?
No, Bad Thoughts.
Bad Thoughts.
It's not Burt Kreischer, Tom Segura's show. It is.
Burt Kreischer would have been a good one for that one. Though.
Tom Segura is perfect for this. It is such a jacked up show. It has no boundaries. It is so messed up.
I love that it just says dark comedy.
It is.
That's the description.
It is.
Yeah.
Dark.
Quite frankly, the darkest comedy I've ever subjected myself to. As you can see, the same amount of 5 stars as there are 1 stars.
Yeah.
And then there's like this many of 2s, 3s, and 4s. It like you either really like it or you really don't. Like I am so torn on that show that I wouldn't even rate it. Because there's things going on in there, and I'm just. It's the first time my jaw dropped during a show.
Yeah.
It just the things that, dude, there's no boundaries. It's insane. So that's why I say, don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Nice.
Or you might end up with a black eye.
Yeah, like it's, dude. Oh, yeah.
Who ended up with the black eye this week, by the way?
Oh, Elon, our boy Elon Muscarino, ended up with the black eye. It's that point in his initiation where he. You guys are laughing. I don't know why you guys are laughing.
It's true.
I don't. Here, look. There's a whole black eye club where they. Look, Barack Obama's had the black eye, Charlie Rose, Pope Francis, Robert Downey Jr., John Kerry, George Bush, Kanye, Ben Affleck, Stephen Colbert, Prince Philip, John McCain, Sir Richard Branson, Ryan Gosling, Madonna, Adam Sandler, not Adam Sandler, no. Brad Pitt, duh, Michael, it don't matter, Perez Hilton. Dude, like everybody's had the black eye. So do you don't know about the black eye conspiracy?
I'm
like
hitting
it.
it up now.
It's the initiation, bro.
So
I feel like a lot of people have black eyes before, though.
the fact that
One
it's
could
all
say
of them,
all UFC, UFC fighters.
not even.
I mean,
I bet you more celebrities have had black eyes than UFC fighters.
The one theory that I would actually...
I know that's a bold statement. but-
that I would actually probably say is the most realistic is, I don't know if you've seen the videos of Elon, but they're like, man, look at this dude, he's twitching. Kind of like he's on drugs.
Oh, for
or
sure.
something. So the only one theory that I would actually believe that would have caused the black eye is if he was actually on drugs and maybe like fell and hit his face or something. But
Go
that
ahead.
would be the theory.
I mean, I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. Like he was just like, doing whatever Elon does, and he's like, ugh, and then fell and hit his face. But no, he said, oh, my son wanted to punch me. My son X wanted to punch me in the face. So I was like, all right, that was his story, almost verbatim.
Yeah, no, I saw the interview. It was quite.
Now do it in the.
Do you guys know
Do
how-
it in Elon impersonation.
I need to practice that because I might just do. I
right,
might start
where's
ending up
Charles?
like,
You're gonna get banned.
I might start ending somewhere in some other part of the world. That's, yeah. No, I'm not ready for that. Shit, I lost my train of thought. So Elon, dude, he blamed his 5-year-old for punching him in the face after Elon told him to. But something that I want to ask you guys: how many people do you know have ever had a black eye? Personally.
Maybe one
known
or
a
two.
couple.
Yeah, maybe
One or
one or
two.
two.
I've known a couple, but I know how they got them.
Yeah, I was there. I saw it. Saw it happen to him.
Like we were there.
Yeah,
but-
no, exactly. But for some reason, damn near all celebrities just get a black eye, and they show up and they have to like show it.
Were
like,
they at a
if
Diddy party?
If I'm no, well maybe I don't know. I don't know where
Is
they
there
got
a
it from.
correlation? Okay.
I don't have. I'm not tracking them.
Maybe there's some like secret elitist underground like brawler.
Maybe that's their Neuralink
Like-
getting installed.
Yeah.
It has to go into their eye.
Ooh.
So the Black Eye Club is believed to be a ritual, a symbol of submission, an initiation tied to power, obedience, and complete mind control. And it's not just rumor, it's visible. Talking about strange bruises that I just mentioned, right? The list, there's a massive list of people, and they have to actually be shown. They have to show themselves because it is this purposeful, it's this intentional submission to the elitists. You're looking right now, and you can. I wouldn't say Black Eye Theory Trump. You just say Black Eye Club.
Black Eye Club.
Black Eye Club celebrities. Okay. Yeah, look up Black Eye Club celebrities, and it's going to give you a whole slew of them. Hopefully, you're using Yandex.
Wasn't AJ a big
AJ? What's an AJ?
AJ? You know, I can't say the name because we'll get.
Oh,
but AJ. Think abbreviations. Think of Bohemian Grove conspiracy stuff. But he actually had publicly came out and promoted that same idea.
So apparently the initiation ritual is called soul scraping and sounds as dark as it is. According to multiple whistleblowers and researchers, it's an occult practice meant to break a person, strip them of their will, replace who they are with who they're told to be, obedient, controlled, and enslaved. It's a spiritual violation. It's not just physical, a ritual where pain and trauma are used to sever someone from their autonomy so they emerge either as a puppet or not at all. Now, why do so few people talk about it? Because they're scared. Because speaking out means putting a target on your back, because this is the kind of secret that gets buried fast and violently. The mainstream media, they mock it. They call it a conspiracy. They act like you're crazy for even asking questions. I believe actually there was one person, David Spade's sister's husband, because Kate Spade, I think David Spade's like related to Kate Spade in some way. I think it's his sister. But her husband, I think, was speaking out about it. He's blowing the whistle on stuff like this after she died. And he had to wear a rat mask and go out in public in a cartoonish Disney-looking rat mask.
This is David Spade's daughter's husband.
No, David Spade's sister's husband. Let me fact check that. I'm just gonna put in David Spade's sister's husband rat mask.
But there's no denying the fact that there's evidence.
Kate Spade's husband makes bizarre appearance wearing. You can literally look up David Spade's sister's husband's rat mask, and he had to walk out. Oh, this guy! I love ads. And he had to walk out because he was caught blowing the whistle on. Look at that. With all the paparazzi out there, like, you have to be seen
with a backpack too. A kid like a.
Is it Dora?
Ian's backpack?
Oh, like he's like admitting he's a rat.
He's admitting he's a rat.
Hey, who's that?
Who's in the body bag?
So she died by hanging. So
that was David Spade's daughter?
Sister, I think.
Sister.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is David Spade's sister. That looks like David Spade, right? I don't know, kind of like let's find it. Yeah, David Spade's sister's husband, rat mask. So yeah, Kate Spade. Yeah, so I think she reached her.
Wait, is Kate Spade the one with the
Yes.
purses?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know they were even related.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fair enough.
Crazy.
Interesting.
Absolutely insane.
So if that is a thing, I mean, there's other wild theories out there about the black eye. I don't want to call it ritual, but black eye ritual. Is it just an initiation, like or is it a punishment?
It's just the next step.
It's like the next step in.
It's the next step
becoming.
yeah. Because they say that you go from when you join these secret societies, the step process is, you start doing these ritualistic sacrifices of, animals, and then maybe the animal gets bigger. And then after a certain point, you have to show complete obedience by doing the black eye thing. Once you do the black eye thing, now you're into like sacrificing humans, family members. That's why a lot of times most of these celebrities have some random human, like family member, relative that just dies around them, and then their fame just goes insane. Yeah.
But they're sacrificing.
They're sacrificing.
Yeah.
And then that's
For the fame of-
Triple X Temptation. He talked about this. He talked about this before he died. He said, "I'm not willing to sacrifice anybody, so something's probably going to happen to me." And then within a week, he got shot at the Lambo dealership.
That's wild.
Right? Right?
That I don't even know what to think. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
how
a-
easy is it to get a black eye?
that shit's got to be intentional. Like, so, like, you know, I've
Can a 5-year-old theoretically just do it?
Probably so.
11 siblings, yes, it's very possible.
yeah.
Dom's like, I had a lot of black eyes.
Tom's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I could. Yeah.
Dom was either dishing them or getting them. One of the two.
So I saw a theory. They were saying that now this is very far out. This is super far out. Okay, so bear with me on this one. I don't know how much I believe on this one, but they say that this is when you meet the aliens. Okay, I know. And they insert like this worm into your eye that essentially does something to your brain and just embeds itself, which is what creates the black eye.
I can see that.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't that's far out as hell.
Yeah.
I
mean, but I've never gotten a black eye from getting dirt in my eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it kind of would be the same idea, similar idea. Maybe just that it's not being embedded under the skin. I mean, speaking of aliens, though, like, I mean, we're hearing stories of like CERN talking to like 17 different dimensions.
that's crazy.
Like, that's wild. But why is it that we're now starting to see more and more stories of like alien presence on this planet?
Predictive programming.
And, you know, like the incident out of Miami, the incident out in, I think it was Las Vegas, where the family got home late at night and they heard something crash in their backyard, and they own like a construction company or
I
something.
think I saw the video.
Because they had like a bunch of heavy duty machine, you know, a bunch of Bobcats, front loaders, things like that. And they get home and they're recording in the backyard, and you can see like the shadow figure. And that thing's got to be like 14 foot tall, dude. Like, you could just see it moving behind those bulldozers and front loaders, and you're like, oh, that thing is huge.
like from Signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And-
aliens from
but I
Signs
mean, the
almost.
dad's got his, you know, his pew pew like on his hip, and he walks back there, oh macho, and he's like, I love it. You know, they're speaking Spanish, of course, and this
Yeah.
is not me making fun. They're speaking
Yeah.
Spanish, and they all run they run back, and the wife's like, what is it? I can't. Oh, there it is. Look, it's right there on behind the machine. Blah blah. Blah. But it's just wild that now we're starting to get these. We were kind of preconditioned and warned about it, right? Like, they came out and declassified that these things do exist, and that our government has possession of these unidentified flying objects, and now all of a sudden we're having these human interactions with them. So is it just a matter of time before they actually are just like walking in through the studio door? Or
That's one of the theories, is that they're just saying that they're getting us used to seeing them, so that when they actually introduce themselves, we're like, oh, these are gods, worship them.
so taken away from the perspective of there actually being a Jesus and a God that created Earth, that these aliens are the ones that actually created
Like
Earth.
bringing demons onto a planet and actually them materializing. I mean, that's part of Revelations too, man. It's just,
Yeah.
there's monsters that we haven't fathomed. Maybe people like, man, I got a crazy story, but it's not appropriate.
Keep it PG.
Yeah, I was doing something. I was, man, how do I say this? I saw the devil one time. I know it sounds crazy, but I was involved with a couple of gals, and
Nice.
in the corner of the room, out of nowhere, I was sober. It started getting really hot, and in the corner of the room, I saw this half goat, half man, and like hooves and massive horns, and just smiled at me. And I freaked out, got up, I like went, sat in a chair, and like that wasn't the only part of the vision. But the point of this story is, that the devil that I saw was literally like I had never seen images like this before. But then I remember This Is the End came out with Seth Rogen and that whole group, and that devil, like, it literally like freaked me out because the devil that I saw in that movie, this happened before that movie came out.
Right.
And it was almost identical to that devil that I saw.
So you think in those movies, like in that,
I feel like we all have visions.
in that Hollywood film, it was
Like someone probably has seen the devil also, and they make this physical, you know, caricature of what they've actually seen.
So I find that very interesting because you're talking about like a shared experience,
A shared
right?
consciousness, a shared experience.
And it's all based off of wavelength, energy, that whole dynamic. I fully believe it. Now, I think that we all have our own definition of what the devil could potentially look like and what we perceive it to be or who to be. I mean, whether or not you believe that way or not. But as far as like the energy and the shared consciousness, that sort of thing, dude, it's the same thing, especially within real estate. And I always act on this, and it might be a little bit loose, but whenever you think of somebody, it's very, very likely that they have just thought of you too. So every time I generally think of somebody, and then I think of them again, maybe a day later, I'm like, I should call that person.
We've had that
conversation.
We've literally had that moment.
Yes.
We've literally had that moment. You're not the only person. I'm sure you're not the only person
Right.
that had that with me. And
Right.
like it's just, dude.
I think
it's
I called you that one day. And you were like,
we've
holy
had that.
shit.
Yeah. And that's the crazy part about it. And what you're saying as far as like we all have a different vision of what the devil could be. Mm-hmm. I think there is like that's just the word for devil. That is just that one entity that we all imagine. Maybe it's Lucifer.
Yeah.
But you know the Bible also says that we are dealing with the unseen. We are dealing with principalities, plural. Spiritual principalities. So there's a hierarchy of demonic, levels.
Yeah. So what we see could be kind of like mid-grade.
So before I saw the devil in the corner, behind
Copyright that book name, by the way.
The devil in the corner.
Behind them, because I was on the edge of the bed, behind them before that appeared, the room behind them fell off. It started getting hot. My skin was burning, and I saw people and heard people screaming and yelling and falling off into this fiery lake, like this lake of fire. I was seeing hell right behind them, and it was all it was so quick. It was probably 5-10 seconds, and I look over, and the devil, or whatever we call him, is in the corner of the room, 7.5 feet, 8 feet tall, and he's just smiling at me, super sharp teeth. And dude, I just sorry,
That's the PG version.
went and sat in the corner of the room. They kept doing their thing, and yeah, that was such a wake up. Like that was probably
It's interesting.
my first majorly supernatural experience
about that. Like you're talking about like having those interconnections between people. Like you're able to like when you're thinking about them, they just thought of you type mentality. They talk about these extra or parallel universes that were living in this like paradox shift between these universes, and that's why we have deja vu, right? Like it's because we're jumping between these times, and we're jumping and going between these universes. Like what happens to you during the day, you enter another universe at night, and that's what causes these dreams, is what some of these psychics and people that believe in this theory actually talk about. It's like when you're asleep, your body is resting, but your soul and your actual physical presence is operating in a parallel universe. And that's why we have these dreams of like becoming whatever it is that we want to become or whatever we want to do, is because we're actually living that simulation or that life in another universe.
How do you feel about magic? Do you think that's witchcraft? Have you ever done been a participant in street magic, and you just can't fathom how that's actually a possibility?
I don't I've never physically seen magic in real life. Like I've
Really?
never seen it in real life.
Never
No.
been to New Orleans?
I've been to New Orleans, but I haven't watched any like magicians or
Lots of
anything.
street magic there.
There's a lot of street magic, but I never really stood there and like, oh my god, that like because there are there's a lot of satire out there and content out there that debunk a lot of what happens in magic.
Sleight of hand can be
It's
so good.
It's
so
all
good.
mind manipulation, right? Like, hey, don't look over here while I
Right.
change out my drink to this. Oh,
But what about people that are recording it happen? That's what I'm talking about. You know, people actually recording street magic as it happens, and you're tracking everything this person's doing, and then somehow, you know, you have a Sharpie dot that transfers from, you know, right here to right here, and you're recording the whole thing, and it just happens.
I used to be able to do there was actually a magic trick that somebody taught me. It wasn't a magic trick. It was like a Sharpie thing, very, very, very similar, that I would rub Sharpie ink on my finger, shake somebody's hand, imprint the thing on there, and it would look like they have an ash on the inside of their palm, shake their hand. I would draw it on myself, and I would, you know, make the little magic show,
Yeah.
and then I'd be like, and they'd open up their hand, and boom, they have ink on their palm, and they're like, oh shit, how'd that happen?
Yeah.
Well, it's because
Just don't let them look at their hand
predetermined-
while you're doing the
well, because
trick.
it was like, oh, nice to meet you. How you doing? You know, this and that. And I would make sure that their hands stayed closed. And
Yeah, like
so,
don't
I mean,
open your hand. Like keep your hand closed. I just shuck it and put the ball in your hand. Like
So David's a voodoo witch, also.
No, I just think that sleight of hand can be very
Good to know.
Very.
But there are some things out there where they're very, very good with it. Like I saw the whole like sitting in midair trick that they pull, and it's basically just a platform. They have like a hollow shoe, and there's like a little latch that they put their foot on, and they literally just pivot on it. Like it's.
I want to dive more a little bit into the shared experiences though for a second.
Okay.
I want to know from you in the audience or in the chat if there is a common shared experience, not like Mandela effect level, but a common experience where you're like, oh my God, I had the same freaking dream. Because I know that there's a lot of people out there that probably have had the same similar style dream. Man, when I was younger, I definitely dreamed I was in Super Mario Brothers. I was jumping on the blocks, did a little swimmy. I was like, oh, I'm like.
Were you Toad, Luigi, or Mario?
I think I was Mario. I don't know.
Interesting.
But I know that there have to have been nightmares or something out there that people have had that same sort of shared experience. And I kind of couple that into with a topic that I've wanted to talk about, but it is all based off that energy because I feel like we are all on that same wavelength. A lot of our stuff is coupled, I mean, it's Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, is coupled with different wavelengths and energy, right?
Do you think that's how those experiences could happen? Like
I think so.
Like it's carried from a Wi-Fi signal. Like those wavelengths are traveling hundreds of miles at a time.
Right, yeah.
Which is why you here in where we're at could have an experience that's similar to what somebody in New York has or in Colorado.
Egypt.
Yeah.
That would also validate remote viewing.
Yeah.
Well, I believe we can remote view stuff. I think so.
How do I know that a nightmare that I had isn't an actual experience that somebody had?
No.
Well,
right?
because
it was just somehow on my wavelength at that time when I was sleeping, and my resting heart rate was 42 or 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
you know what I mean?
remember my dad got me. So we were at Walmart when I was about 7 years old, and there was this book on astral projection. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was the coolest thing, and I was like, Dad, can I have this? So he got it for me. We were like going through the like checkout, and he was like, all right, whatever, and just gives me the books like 50 cents. So I'm like reading it on the way home, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, dude, I wanna astral project, right? So I'm reading it, and so I tried astral projecting. It didn't work for me. I'm not special, right? But I'm sitting there on my bed, and I'm just trying to rotate my eyes and doing breathing and 7-year-old dumbass just trying to do this, and so it didn't work. But then I started to get really relaxed, and it was like I felt like I was scared I was going to lose my soul in whatever the astral projectile plane was. So I just stopped doing it. So I literally had like an Insidious moment, and so I just never went back to doing it. And then Insidious came out, And I just thought that was such a huge trip because before I'm 7 years old, there's nothing out there like that, but I still had that just weird feeling as a 7-year-old kid,
Right.
where I just stopped it because I was like, I don't want to lose my soul there.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's not part of the book,
You know what's crazy though is like while we're telling these kid stories is like as a kid I had vivid dreams of like drowning for some reason. So I would always and I had a vivid dream of not only drowning but things falling on my head. So I actually used to sleep with a pillow like a quarter of the way over my forehead growing up as a kid because had a fear of something falling on my head. Well, fast forward like 30 years later, my wife got me to go do one of those float pods. I don't know if you've ever done it or not.
Oh yeah, the hyperbaric. It's like a chamber where it's like super salinated.
Yeah,
and
they put like 1,500 pounds of salt, Epsom salt and stuff into water, and you literally get in that pod, and it closes on top of you.
Oh, if your mind's not
And
right.
I just remember like floating there, and it's pitch black, and you're just like floating there.
Have you done this?
hard no.
If your mind's not right, I think it's probably a bad idea. But
It was a terrible idea.
if you can meditate and really like praying, then
Yeah.
it would probably be very blissful. Honestly, yeah.
But if you have bad thoughts, don't get in one of those things.
I did it twice. I went stoned one time, and it was the worst experience. I went sober and just meditated, and it was the best blissful experience. I felt so relieved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But it is like the most wild. But it reminded me like when I was laying there, because you lay there for like 15 minutes, like just floating around.
Is it just
and
15?
You can do an
You
hour.
could do an hour.
Yeah.
I did
Psychopaths.
15, but I was in there for 15 minutes, which felt like hours.
Yeah, dude, no freaking
I'm
way.
just like laying there, but I just remember it was so weird because you hear about like these near life experiences, like where people die and come back, and they're like, "Oh, I saw my life." Like literally, I was just laying there, and I was like, started remembering like as a child, like I had these nightmares of drowning, and here I am floating in a. It was just the craziest
Looks like
experience
this is
I've ever
an
had.
awful idea. This is awful.
But I will tell you the health benefit from it. Like I felt great after doing
Oh, really?
that. Like my pains and aches were gone, dude. I felt like I could run a marathon.
You
Like,
know what I'm going to do instead of that? Acupuncture. I've been having conversations about acupuncture recently, and I've heard wonderful things about acupuncture, and it's in the light. So that's cool too.
Kind of where I'm going with this story too is not just like the fear of that stuff, but I remember laying there, and you're talking about this experience you had with seeing the devil, and I'm laying there, and I remember like I don't know why it popped through my head, but I remember my grandmother always telling me a story. My grandmother grew up on the raised my dad on the south side of San Antonio, so right across the street from Cuellar Park. So it was not a very good, but they had an acre of land, and there were bars on the windows and stuff like that. But anyway, she always used to tell me the devil walked through the backyard, and I remember that story. To make me go to sleep, because I lived with my grandma for like 3 years, to make me go to sleep. And I remember her telling me that she had an experience that somebody knocked on her door, and when they knocked on her door, they asked her for something, and she just had chills because she remembers when she was walking at the park, she remembers the coat that this guy was wearing. And when she was walking at the park earlier that day, she remembers seeing, I think it was like the upper torso of a goat and the feet, like chicken feet, basically. Or chicken arms and hooves. It was something along those lines, but she just remembers like
I couldn't take it seriously. It was chicken feet.
You know, she just remembers
it by its necks.
like that happening, and her like, no, I don't want you here. Go away. And shortly after that, she had 3 men knock on her door, which she claims were the 3 wise men. But it's like the most wild story ever.
So how did the Wiseman thing go?
The wise men, they asked her for food. So, and my grandmother was a Guadalupana. So she was very interconnected with the Catholic Church. So she was a very religious person. So I took everything she took literally, like, you know, and she told me these stories as a kid. And I remember you telling the story, but she said the same thing. She had a coat, just a little different on what it actually looked like, but they actually had sharp teeth. The devil had sharp teeth, and came to her and said, I will grant you all your, everything you've dreamt of if you do one thing for me. And then literally shortly after that, like 10 minutes later, three wise men, she says, knocked on her door asking for a plate of food. And she says, I believe more in the faith in Jesus and God our creator than I believe in you.
Do you feel that, okay, so not to discount anybody's faith or anything. However, the energy aspect of being closer or further away to your faith, maybe at that time you were going so far off of your aligned wavelength, what you were born with, that it was meshing or melding into another reality for you, and it was just like, okay, now what we assume is faith bringing you back into it, because you were going so far off kilter, or maybe grandma or grandma was going was so in line with it.
In Texas, we call them abuelitas.
Abuelitas.
Right. Going so in line with
Can you
it.
say
that it's just-
abuelita?
Abuelita, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
look at you,
Yeah,
little Texas
born and
boy.
raised.
Okay.
Se habla español, muy poquito. Sí.
All right, go
But
ahead.
maybe that's honestly what people would associate as these faithful viewings.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you're
Right?
saying going to a different frequency in your energy
Yeah.
chakras,
Right,
if you
yeah,
will.
And maybe that's what people think of as their chakra, right?
It will open your eyes.
Meditating,
No, sorry,
getting in
sorry.
line with their own
Sorry.
wavelength.
Yeah,
right?
it'll open your eyes to different realities.
Yeah, because I'm honestly just talking it out right now. I'm even coming to terms with it. Like, well, now it makes more sense for like the Buddhists to meditate so much because they're so in line with their own wavelength that they're able to do that, right?
I mean, that's an interesting perspective. I've always believed that when I see something like that, because I mean, I'm a lot of Indian. I'm a lot of Indian in my blood. We'll put it that way. So I feel like I can feed
Feather,
energy.
not dot.
Like I feel energy. Like I could feel energy from people. Like, but I do feel that, like, you know, for whatever reason, being a man of faith, I feel that when God wants us to reinstate that trust that he's actually got a grip on things in a whole, he has a plan for us, I feel like he kind of drops that guard so you see what bad looks like to just kind of re-spark that belief and that guidance from him, right? So, I mean, that's kind of what I think.
And maybe he's just turning that dial so you start experiencing a little bit more of that to test you.
Turning up the heat.
Yeah.
I was laughing a moment ago because you said chakras, and I remember one time, so my wife was a massage therapist for like 12 years. I remember she was like rubbing my back one day, and she's like doing this. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm releasing your
While you're on your
your
belly?
chakras or whatever."
Wait,
And I was like,
were you
"What?"
on your belly or were you on your back?
I was on my belly.
She's playing.
No, she was like literally like it felt like she was pulling strings out of my back, and I go, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm playing like I'm."
Oh, it's like a.
I'm
Oh, she's
releasing
doing-
your shock.
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Because that's another way too. Is like if you're on your back, they'll go under.
Yeah.
And that's amazing feeling.
Maybe that's
to
how
me,
she was doing it. I forget.
You're right. This is like the finishing touch, right? Pulling the energy out, whatever. But the other way I love is like you're on your back and they go underneath and they just pinch your skin a little bit and get that pressure going. But no, you're right. That's the
Yeah, I was just like, I was weirded out. I was like, "Stop! What are you pulling out of my back?" I thought she was like pulling my back hairs out or something. Like it was weird.
I'm just pulling out the.
So
bad
I
energy.
went down this crazy rabbit hole like a few weeks ago, and it kind of has something to deal with this. That's why I'm like kind of excited about it.
this is cool.
Yeah. No, so it's I don't know if you've ever heard of Tartaria. So
Tartaria?
It's this older civilization, right? And there's a whole bunch of like photographic evidence that this actually existed. If you ever looked up the World Fair in Chicago or something like that, I think it's one of the biggest ones. Crazy big statues, full monuments of people remembering and putting on video of their accounts at the World Fair in Chicago of these Tartarians that built these beautiful structures in Chicago.
Were they
by the way.
giants?
Yeah. So I'll pull it up because I want Dom to see because it's kind of crazy. But the interesting fact was that they were able to do this because they were able to utilize free energy and the wavelength, and so they were able to utilize this energy to move stones, to move large structures like the pyramids. And that's how these things were built.
That was the point. I think the part of the conspiracy is that was the point of the World War, in order to reset
right.
so that people didn't know. That's why you don't see bells anywhere, because apparently demons.
Right, all the big bells that used to be around the world.
There's a bell funeral,
'Cause it was
or
a-
like a barrel cemetery. Is
Right,
what
it
yeah.
was,
took down
and
all
it
the
was
bells.
to align the sounds, the vibrations, and the wave. Yeah,
Could that be what powered the pyramids?
that's what I was thinking is
Like
if
sound.
you're able to, if they were building the pyramids utilizing those vibrations to lift heavy things.
Why not?
That just shows how powerful the voice is,
Yeah, I mean, they say it's super powerful.
right? It's a microcosm, maybe, but I mean, it's not if you reach a certain level of influence.
Yeah.
You know, and you have enough, gumption, tone, tempo, content, that you're able to influence others with,
Well, there are health issues that they do cure with sound wave and frequency.
Mhm. I've actually done it. When I got long COVID, I went on a Spotify playlist. I put Epsom salt in my bathtub, and for an entire week, I just played, like 444 or whatever the healing frequency was. And
This was in Chicago.
Yeah.
This whole
That's
almost
wild.
looks like the monument in Washington D.C. Right, it's got a big old statues, beautiful buildings.
And this is from what era? Like this is.
This is 1893. Sorry, 1893, and
So-
this doesn't exist anymore.
What's crazy that you bring that up is because lately I've been getting these YouTube videos from these YouTubers. I can't say their name. I don't want to say their name because they're actually probably banned on YouTube right now. But they call Chicago and they refer to Chicago as the city on top of the city. And it's because
Bro, it's
they've-
opening up so much because
It's because they've actually found and gone into like the sewer system and gone through these giant rooms that are just filled with like artifacts from like the early 1800s, and they're finding this and they're like, you're not supposed to be down there. So they're trying to like cover it up now, and they're removing all the videos and everything that are being posted, but it's already been clipped so much that like some of these small pages are picking it up and posting it. But it's wild that you bring that up because like, again, that interconnectivity, like what you're seeing and I'm seeing are now connected.
That's what we should do some research this week on how time was manipulated. There has been I think there was it a pope that basically fast forwarded the world 300 years. There's a span of time where it was erased, where it never happened. They just jumped the calendar.
right, and theoretically, right now we're in the 1700s, not
Right.
the 21st century.
Yeah.
Right. No. Yeah. And one of them was even suggesting that the Great Wall of China. I have to look into this because I should have done this before, but that the slots to shoot arrows through was actually into China.
It was to keep China in, not
It was
out.
to keep Tartaria, which is what it was Tartaria before. It was to keep them in and to say that those were giants. Yeah.
Whoa.
Dude, and there's maps here of the 1600s, old map of Tartaria, and this is Tibet, Russia area.
Dude, I need those giants to come out to my property and do some yard work, because I got too much going on over there, man.
Well,
I got freaking trees everywhere. It's just fucking
The other one is
falling on my chicken coop.
the Grand Canyon. Have you
Sure,
seen?
giant. If you're Anunnaki out there, I'm not trying to
Anunnaki.
summon you or nothing like that. Don't take this the wrong way, but
Your back hurts.
yeah, my back hurts. My little ass. I need that 9.5 foot man strength.
Have you seen
Don't take that the wrong way.
Have you seen that like the Grand Canyon?
Let Ernest talk, bro.
Oh god.
I saw a picture of a chair that says when you need to relax after a hard day's work, and it had an extra footstool down there. You know what I mean? Again, that interconnectivity. I literally showed it to. But the Grand Canyon is supposedly, so there is a pact or there is a bill that it excludes or restricts public access to parts of the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah.
And it's believed that there are actually tunnels or caves that lead to like pyramids from the ancient Egypt, because we apparently the U.S. is the soil for the ancient pyramids, and what we're supposed to believe is Egypt is where the pyramids are, and
those were actually constructed by us.
Well,
Right.
isn't the bigger one's in Mexico?
Mexico,
right? The biggest
yeah.
one
Yeah.
isn't. Yeah. That's a hard sale for me. I think with the Grand Canyon, mainly because of the water thing. Used to be a big river, right? I don't.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
well, doesn't the Mississippi flow north at some point? Like so the idea was that like I think the Nile River is the one that flows or north. It flows up.
Yeah, flows up.
So nobody in the world can even explain why it flows up. Like
well, if you live on a globe, it does.
Why? Because we're going upside down.
Right.
Like we're a spinning
you know,
ball.
now that Charles isn't here,
Now that's
we'll see you next week, Charles.
Dom, how did we manage
got
to
a
go back
question
to
for
flat
you.
Earth?
It is the
I know,
gravitational pull with the hypertension rod that pulls the
Yeah,
water
I
to
still,
the
I
North
still
Pole.
don't know. Still don't know.
Well, I mean, it's funny you bring that up too because
fuck.
there's been a lot of no, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But there are now videos of people at the southern border of Texas asking people how they got here and what charter plane or how they flew into Mexico to cross the border, and they're like, "We didn't fly, we walked." And they're like, "How did you walk across water?"
from Mexico.
They're coming from Middle East. These people are coming from like Pakistan, and they're asking them where they're from, and they're like, "Oh, I'm from Pakistan, I'm Bangladesh, and blah 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 blah," or whatever it is. And these people are actually saying,
Maybe they just don't want to dime out their traffickers.
Yeah.
"Well, I
They
mean,
they got drugged and shipped
Yeah.
over.
that could be. I mean, they could have been shipped over, right? And they're answering very literal, right? Like, how did you get here? What plane did you take? They're like, "Well, we didn't fly. We floated."
Yeah,
you know?
we don't want to get suicided by Hillary.
But there are, if you look at the what I forget the name of the map, the Gleason map.
That's my contribution.
The
for
original
podcast.
Gleason map from like 1800s, it shows like the Earth's actually being as close together. Like if you've ever flown to Europe, did you at one point see the water, or did they fly high enough to where
I
you were
slept
just
in
the
first
clouds?
class,
You were in the
so.
clouds. Me too. You know, so yeah, like we went in first class.
Yeah, we didn't pay attention.
Well, it took 15 hours because I flew from Dallas to Italy, and then we flew over Iceland. I mean, I guess I didn't. I was on a middle seat, so I didn't look out
So why did you go to Italy first?
for my honeymoon.
No, I know, but so you went to Italy,
Yeah,
but you flew over Iceland.
or Greenland. Is it Greenland? Both, right? It's both. They're right there.
So, but
Yeah, you fly over Canada.
So you did.
so you went
did
you went over to
this.
the North Pole.
No,
I mean,
adjacent.
if
adjacent.
You're,
Adjacent,
but if you're
yeah,
on a
close.
if you're on a globe, like
Yeah, you would go.
you know. I'm just saying, man. Like, let's not go down that
I
rabbit
asked
hole.
my pilot friend, and
He says it's round.
he says it's round.
Yeah.
He's like, "You guys are fucking stupid."
He's like, watch the podcast.
So
Unsubscribe. You guys are fucking dumb.
You guys are dumb.
I mean, I understand gravity.
It's like, I
Could
was
keep,
just asking a question.
gravity could keep the plane, but it still doesn't explain like certain flight routes. Like, why would you fly from Washington to China? Like, you can fly directly. People flying from New York to China fly through Washington, like Seattle, Washington, and then they go from Seattle, Washington into China. Why don't they just fly from New York to?
What's the What's the distance difference? Is it shorter from New York over the Atlantic to?
Well, it's about the same distance.
You also have to think about wind and flying over mountains.
and flying over not friendly countries.
Yeah, I guess that's a good perspective.
That's a good point too. You know.
Yeah.
you
No
know,
fly zones.
Yeah, flying over America.
Flying over
would be a
Area
lot
51. You
Yeah,
can't do that.
Yeah, I don't think it 100% proves like anything, but it's just odd. It's very odd.
What a great
But-
episode today.
Yeah.
Project Bluebeam. You want to touch it a little bit, or save it till
Dude,
Charles is
again,
here?
we freaking lost it. He does. I think he knows a little bit about Bluebeam. You still don't know about Bluebeam yet.
No,
I did a
man.
whole thing.
Honestly, is this going to support the Tartaria thing? Because I'm on this freaking ride right now. I am so hooked, dude. I'm serious. You gotta look at it. It's kind of crazy, actually.
Well,
The Tartaria thing.
they're digging up in South America right now, and they're actually finding the tops of pyramids, and like they're like, well, shoot, like how far down can we dig
Yeah.
and find more stuff?
Everything I've seen on it, people are even the skeptical ones on like TikTok and Instagram or whatever, even Reddit here. People are like, "Oh yeah, no shit, it existed." Well, yeah, but we're not talking about the things that we have physical evidence of and you're not discounting any of these things. We can see that it existed. Where does this fit into our timeline here? Why did this exist? And why is it no longer existing?
So
because of free energy.
if it's the city
Oh,
under
dude.
this, if it's
Because
the
it's we live. Sorry to interrupt.
no, you're good.
Sorry to interrupt, but we live in this society of consumerism,
Yes.
slavery.
Yeah.
And I think the Tates said it best is that we substituted the old school fashion of slavery where, it was very barbaric, it was awful, and people were not treated as human beings. And then they traded that out for what seemed like a more humane slavery. Those people that got liberated still stayed on those plantations with their bosses, with their masters, right? But then now the masters paid them a crappy wage, gave them food that they now had to pay for, gave them clothes that they now had to pay for,
And then
we're
asked them to tax them.
and exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of progressed into what we're living in now. We have we live in a different kind of slavery where people don't even know they're slaves. We're
To your
raised
phone.
to your phone,
To
to
Facebook.
consumerism, right? Every single holiday, holy day is an unholy day. What's Christmas? You go to you're in Christmas, you're like, oh, I can't wait till I get this present, this present, this present, this present. No one really looks towards giving presents. It's just parents giving their kids a whole bunch of shit they don't need because they, somebody else already has it. That's consumerism. Thanksgiving, you're submitting to this this gluttonous spirit. You're just, let me stuff my face with 10 different freaking things and the most I can of it because we're celebrating thankfulness.
Well, here in America, I'm gonna watch football.
Football's the distraction. Football's the circus, right? I'm a victim of that, if you want to call it that. Easter, named after the goddess Ishtar, which was a pagan ritual where they would literally use eggs and paint them with the blood of sacrificed babies. In order to increase their fertility, they would have orgies and in order to prepare for the orgies that were to come, which then they would then re-sacrifice those babies to paint the eggs to continue to do this, so on and so forth. Right? We are living in this different kind of slavery where we don't even know, and we're so numb to it, and we're so distracted and chunky.
100% chunky.
Yeah, dude, I'm chunky.
Chunky, and I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just trying to make it, man. We're all trying to break the chains, if you will.
So did our ball grow if there are these cities under cities, like cities over cities?
Was that shade?
Huh?
Were you throwing shade?
No, I'm just asking.
I don't know if it grew or we just
Globe
found
shade.
more.
Globe shade is what
Well, I
I'm
mean,
call it.
if we're talking about like these pyramids being hundreds of feet tall, and there's pyramids under the ground that they're finding, our ball would have grown. Like our Earth got bigger.
True.
Fair, I guess. Yeah.
Or we just got more dirt. I don't know.
From the ocean.
From the ocean.
Or
From
the,
volcanoes.
the polar ice caps.
As Dr. Evil would say, liquid hot magma.
No, basically what you did is you took some cobblestone and some water and some lava and you made a cobblestone generator. Minecraft.
Oh, you nerds.
Gary and I are like, what?
Yeah, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Hashtag underscore first name underscore.
Hashtag Minecraft movie.
So before we get down another rabbit hole, tune in next week, guys. We run out of studio time. Sorry for teasing you last week with Project Bluebeam. I will leave you with this next teaser. But according to Canadian journalist named Sergei Manas, back in the 1990s, there's this top secret plan allegedly being cooked up by NASA and some shadowy global elites that's basically designed to fake the second coming of Christ or an alien invasion or both. Just depends which version you're reading, and we are going to be ready to dig right into that first thing next week. But as for this week, thank you guys so much for joining us. From myself and David and Ernesto and the D brothers. What can we get a good name for y'all?
Gutierrez brothers.
Well,
The Gutierrez brothers.
Gutierrez brothers.
the D brothers.
I was gonna call y'all the Dom Bros.
the Dom Bros.
That's not. Is that on?
Our last names are Gutierrez.
Well, I get that, but Gutierrez is real like.
It's real common here in San Antonio.
Yeah, I want like.
Well, that's good though, because he doesn't want to be known. That's why he's not on camera.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah.
The G monies.
We're gonna get a Dom camera.
He's like, I'm not going to be a part of this shit.
Oh, the gut bros. They hit you right in the gut with quality content.
Hey, I
There
want
we
to
go.
see some comments
I didn't even need
about
ChatGPT for that
Tartaria
shit.
and Project Bluebeam. I want people to know or ask questions so we can be prepared and answer questions that
Yeah.
they may have.
Hit us
For
up.
what-
You already know what's up.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. You'll have a blessed one. Peace.
Later.